And welcome back to another episode of the Double Doink Podcast. My name is Brendan Deek. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. You can also rate the podcast and review the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. It would also be greatly appreciated. Really cool episode coming for you today. I am happy to be joined by Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Josh Palmer's with me. Josh, man, how we doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Can't complain at all. Thanks again for jumping on. We talked before. I know you're a super busy guy, and it's Friday. You got a game coming up on Sunday. So, again, thanks for taking the time. One of the reasons I wanted to speak to you, the big reason was I don't know if a lot of people know this that are not LA Chargers fans. But, Josh, you were born and raised in Brampton, Ontario. I'm about an hour away from where I grew up. So, I just want to, start with this question. What was your childhood like growing up in Canada, Brampton?
It was cool. I played a lot of sports, so I made a lot of close friends, especially in basketball and football. I played soccer growing up as well. Played for Brampton Bulldogs. Played for Burlington Stampeders. I played for soccer for Malton. I played I name all the sports? Yeah, I played house league over there. So I made a lot of friends. And my childhood was pretty fun.
Yeah, so just, I guess we'll say first, so Brampton's about, what did you say, 20, 25 minutes from Toronto? Is that about right?
About 45, 50 to
About
an
45
hour.
minutes, yeah. Okay. So it's in the West End. I'm in Ajax, which is the East End. So Brampton's about an hour away from me. So we're kind of in the suburbs just outside of the big city of Toronto. But my next question for you is, Josh, what was the football scene like in Brampton? Like, how did you kind of pick up football?
My dad played football growing up, so I was always around the sport. I stopped playing football for a while to focus on basketball, but football came more natural, and it was what was football like? It was fun. It was fun. There's a big difference between high school Canada football and high school American football. So the difference there is prevalent, but it was fun. I had a good time playing. I enjoyed it a lot.
Why did you pick football? Because like you said, you're a multi-sport athlete. Like you're an athletic guy. You could have went multiple different ways, multiple different routes for your athletic career. What made you pick football?
Like I said, it came more natural to me. I always was around football at a young age just because my dad played football in university, and you know basketball just wasn't clicking as fast as football was, and that's what I decided to just when I decided to transfer. Was obviously when I decided to take football a lot more serious.
Okay, so I actually saw. I want to get into this part. I saw an interview with you. You used to, after football practice, you used to go to a place called Pizza Depot after practice.
Mm.
Where I'm from, Pizza Depot, I'm about 30 seconds away from a Pizza Depot. It is a childhood restaurant for me as well. I used to go there after high school all the time for lunch. We get it here all the time. Josh, Pizza Depot is not very good where I am. I'm not a big fan of it. Explain to listeners why you love this restaurant called Pizza Depot that is a Canadian staple.
Oh well, the Pizza Depot by my old high school, which was St. Rock, right beside the school. I like it because of the poutine.
Okay.
I think they had the best poutine ever. I don't really eat the pizza. I mean, the pizza's good, but I go for the poutine, 100% for that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had the poutine there. I'm pretty sure I've only gotten the pizza, so maybe I gotta check out the
Yeah.
poutine.
I mean, I can't vouch for any other Pizza Depot,
Yeah.
but I can vouch for that one.
Okay, so you said you did transfer. You did leave Canada after your second year of high school, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. You transferred to St. Thomas Aquinas in Florida. They are a powerhouse high school football in the States. What was it like leaving Canada to go play in Florida? Because I think some LA Charger fans know that your family's been a big part of your upbringing, a big part of kind of how you got to where you are today. What was it like kind of leaving your family behind and going to St. Thomas?
It wasn't as hard as people think, just because I had a goal, which was to get recruited, and I was living with family, and the family I was living with, I'm pretty close with. I was visiting them all the time, so
Okay.
it wasn't really that hard. One of the harder parts was just having to make new friends. Really, my family could visit. My family could visit anytime, but friends can't visit as often.
What did you miss the most about when you moved to Florida?
Just my friends.
Your friends?
Yeah, just my
Yeah.
friends, and how easy it was to reach them. and go hang out and do stuff. But
Are you still close with friends in Brampton?
yeah, I am a few.
Yeah.
A few, yeah.
Do they ever come and see you play in LA?
A couple have.
Yeah.
A couple have come to visit me.
What was your first year like there?
Where?
In Florida, at St. Thomas.
So
what was the
it
transition like?
was challenging. I had to develop quickly just because of the amount of talent that was there, and if I wanted to get recruited, I had a lot to do to catch up. I was very behind in terms of from a skill level and just from a football knowledge standpoint. But the coaches and just my teammates did a great job helping me become the player that I was in high school, especially my senior year.
So you committed originally to Syracuse from St. Thomas. You decommitted at Tennessee. What do you remember the most from your time in Tennessee?
Do I remember the most?
Yeah, but what was that? What was that whole experience like for you? What can you take away from it?
I mean, we had a lot of up and downs. We had up and down seasons for the 4 years I was there. Probably the best year was the year we went to a bowl game. It's probably the most fun that we've had there. Especially then we had the COVID year. So, I mean, I remember that. I'll never forget that year just because traumatic time.
Yeah. So you got drafted 77th overall, third round to the LA Chargers. Talk to me about draft night, Josh. What went through your mind? What was the whole day like? I guess nighttime, right? Because it would have been day 2, so it would have been at night. What was the whole process like? Were you with family, or where were you when you took in the draft?
Yeah, I was in family. I was in Knoxville though.
Okay.
I was in Tennessee. We had an Airbnb and had some family from Florida that I lived with come down. A lot of my friends, frat brothers, and obviously my mom and my dad came down, and we're just sitting there waiting for the call. I kind of had an idea where I was going to go in terms of the round. I just didn't know where in terms of the city.
Yeah. What was the first thing you bought when you signed your contract?
First thing I bought?
Yeah. What was the first purchase?
Jeez. My first purchase. It wasn't anything crazy, to be honest. I had to get an apartment, so I had to put a down payment on an apartment. And then furniture, really, that's where all my money went to. Was not all my money, but that's where most of my money went to was that furniture for where I live.
So you've been, Josh, you've been a key part of the Chargers offense since you got drafted. It's really cool to kind of see how your career's blossomed over the last 2 years. How's the transition been like from college to the NFL? It's a play, I'm assuming, is probably the big one, but just from your day-to-day process from Tennessee to LA, what's that transition been like?
It hasn't been that hard, just because I had great trainers when I was preparing for the draft that prepared me off the field as well, not just for the combine. Tony Villani and Matt Gates did a great job preparing me mentally for what the NFL was going to be like, and me just figuring out how to take advantage of the time that I have, because you have more time being in the NFL because it's a job. It's not like I have to go to class after practice, so it's just finding the things I need to do to take advantage of the time to make me a better player.
Okay, so I've heard some stories of some quarterback. I can't remember the exact receiver who played with Tom Brady. He said like the transition from like catching passes from a quarterback in college, like Tom Brady, is night and day. And Josh, your quarterback is Justin Herbert, who I love and I have so high praise for. I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. That guy's got a rocket of an arm. Absolutely missile as an arm. Has it been tough catching passes maybe from like a quarterback in Tennessee and just going right into Justin Herbert, who has an absolute bazooka of an arm? Has it been tough like transitioning from that process?
No, not really, because I mean, Justin knows when to throw it hard and he knows when to lay it in there.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm gonna be, unless he has to throw it in there really hard. I'd be expecting that, but
yeah,
he's pretty good at controlling the speed. So, but when he does throw it hard, you can feel it.
Yeah. You got drafted to a team where Keenan Allen plays, one of the best receivers in the NFL over the last decade. Like I think it was almost like a match made in heaven for him to kind of for you to be able to learn behind him. What's that relationship been like, and how much help has he given you early in your career?
My relationship with Keenan is it's a great relationship I have with him. I'm trying to find the words, but Keenan, I could talk about Keenan all day.
Yeah.
He took me under his wing early in camp, and from there I've just been by his side. He's been by my side, um, talking about routes, going over to his house, going out to eat, hanging out a lot, him critiquing my routes, him asking me what I thought how his route looked, which I was surprised when the first time he did that because like, why are you asking me? Um, but Keenan I love Keenan. I have a genuine love and appreciation for Keenan because he's helped me a lot, especially in my transition of just being a receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, you guys like have very similar games as well. Like it was again like match made in heaven might be a perfect. Like I don't feel like there was a better spot for you to land than behind a guy like Keenan Allen to be able to kind of prepare you for the NFL. Okay, a little bit off the field here. Josh, what do you like to do for fun? Like you live in LA. You're in one of the biggest cities in America. Going from Brampton to LA, it's a really cool kind of storyline there. But what do you like to do for fun off the field?
I like to watch movies, watch TV shows when I'm just chilling by myself at home. Read. I don't really play video games a lot. Go out to eat. I like going out to eat with friends.
Favorite TV show of all time?
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. Okay. I haven't. I can't get through the accents, man. I have to put the closed captioning on. Did you have to do that? I don't know. It's.
Sometimes, but I just put subtitles on just because I like subtitles. But you get used to it. It's not that bad.
You watched The Wire before?
I tried to get into it.
Oh, that's my favorite show.
Yeah, I heard it's a good show. I tried to get into it. It didn't stick.
Okay, a couple more for you, Josh. I think the LA Chargers have the best social media team in the league, and it's not even close. Like I'm a big social media guy, big guy on Twitter. They had a question yesterday that was really funny. I don't know if it was yesterday or earlier this week. It was name one team that you wouldn't want to invite to Thanksgiving dinner. I think it was Fujiko or Fujoko on your team who was the main answer. Give me your answer on your team. Who was one guy you wouldn't invite to Thanksgiving dinner for you guys from your team?
One guy that I wouldn't invite?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's picky. I mean, I don't mind if I wouldn't mind if Braden came because at least I know the food's gonna be eaten. At least there's not gonna be a whole bunch of food and a bunch of leftovers that you're gonna have to eventually throw away because they're gonna be in the fridge for so long.
Yeah. One of the defense or offensive linemen has to be at the table, right? To eat all the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get any Canadian stereotypes when you're in the NFL? Like, do you guys live in igloos or any of that nonsense? I still get it from American friends that I know.
No, in high school, I mean, when you're kids,
yeah,
your kids, they think like that, but not really. Not really. Most of not really.
Well, I interviewed Nathan Shepard, who's a defensive lineman on the New York Jets, and he was actually born and raised in Ajax, and he said he gets like the Canadian bacon question a lot, like what's the difference between Canadian bacon and so I'm assuming there's a lot of guys that have a lot of questions about Canadians in the NFL still.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start making up a story. Every time they ask me, I'm gonna just tell them that the pigs we get are imported from
people. Yeah. What do you make? So, kind of going back to your Canadian roots here. You left Brampton to go to Florida just because there's better opportunity, better places to play, or just a better opportunity to play and make it to where you are, and it obviously worked for you. Do you think Canada maybe can do a better job of developing Canadian talent in the NFL? Because I've always had to take that there's so many athletes here. Canada it's almost underrated with the amount of talent and athletic ability that Canadians have, and I don't think they get a good enough opportunity here in Canada unless you can go and play in Florida like you did. Do you think Canada can do a better job of maybe breeding, I guess, Canadian athletes and Canadian NFL players?
So the thing is, I can't really speak on Canada as a whole. Just because I haven't been there for so long. So I don't know what schools or coaches or trainers or players are doing to help themselves get recruited. I don't think it'd be fair for me to just say, yeah, we need to do a better job just because I haven't been there for so long and I haven't really been in those type of programs.
Yeah.
But what I can agree on is that there's a lot of talent out there that, could be exposed for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there needs to be a better kind of like the coaching, I guess, like aspect is probably one of the biggest things you probably noticed, right? Like the coaching in America to Canada is just night and day.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, the coaching like professionally, high school, because
Like
I feel like at the end of the day, a coach is a coach. There's going to be some coaches that know more than other coaches, and I don't think that has anything to do with where you are in the world. But I mean, a small example could be like, okay, high school football is played on a Tuesday afternoon compared to high school football in America is played on Friday nights where everyone can watch. So those type of differences. But in terms of coaching itself, like the skill, I wouldn't say that, because you could be a good coach anywhere or a crappy coach anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, one last question for you, and I heard this question asked Aaron Rodgers in an interview this summer, and I thought it was really interesting. He said that he thinks football is beautiful. And he made it a play of the fact that there was a play action pass he used to throw to Jordy Nelson back in the day, and he thought like football is beautiful in the way when everyone does their job, it looks nice and pretty on film and whatnot, and that's why he loves playing the game. And I couldn't be. I played football. I played university football at York, and never worked out for me. York University in Canada never worked out for me, and I always thought I want to stay in football and I want to work for that sport. I love football because it takes 300 people to kind of come together and win every week. And I think that's the best part about humans, is when they all come together and make something happen. What do you love the most about the sport of football?
When you work so hard when you work so hard in the off season, or you work so hard at something, and in the game you finally do it and it hits and it connects. That's probably the best. That's probably the best part. And someone may not even notice. Someone may not even notice what you did, but as long as you know what you did, that's probably the most beautiful thing. I mean, in any sport, but especially in football, because that's the sport that I play and love. It's I could be working on a release or a type of catch, and for years and years and years, and I get 15 seconds to get an opportunity to do it, and then when I do it and it hits, that's probably the best thing ever. Is when you work so hard to get something and you get it.
That's a great answer. Josh Palmer, wide receiver for the LA Chargers. Josh, thanks so much for doing this, man. Really appreciate it, and good luck the rest of your way.
All right, thank you, Brendan.
Have a good one.